Perfect. All right, I have started recording. Uh, all right. And second is that guys try to be on time. I know that it's early morning, 8 o'clock. Even I slept last night at 2 because we become habitual to sleeping late in the Corona also, and we have US clients. So we know, I know that guys, it's really difficult to get up in early morning and join on a time, but try to be on a time. And so we should not wait for other, and we can continue once at 8 a.m. sharp itself. All right. So how many of guys have attended my last sessions or demo sessions? Anyone have attended my demo sessions?
No, I'm not at all.
Anyone?
No.
No.
Perfect, perfect. All right. So in a demo session, I generally say that there's a four question you should ask yourself. Why cloud? Why do you want to learn a cloud? What is a cloud? Why Azure? And why Azure and what is Azure? So let's start with the first question. Why cloud? What do you think, guys? Why do you want to learn a cloud? Right? What do you think?
Everything now is come under the cloud only. Right now, nowadays,
Okay.
without cloud we can't work any because due to the corona, all the projects are come under the cloud only.
Okay.
Everyone work
I,
from home only right now.
right.
99% of people are work from home only right now.
Right, right. So cloud is new normal nowadays. People are start moving a cloud, but still your physical environment are exist. Not everyone is moved on a cloud. It still is there, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And any other reason? What do you find out? Why you need to learn a cloud?
Actually, it is like easy to have migrate to cloud where the maintenance is less and management is easy. Like we don't have to manage the cloud, so provider will manage everything for us, the hardware and everything. So that is the reason for the cost effective we are moving to the cloud.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Those answers you are telling me that on in company perspective. What is your answer in your perspective? Like, why you want to learn a cloud? Company want to move a cloud, that's okay. Everyone is on a cloud, everyone is working on remote home, and it's a cost effective or might be can easy to manage. It's all company's perspective. That answer should be think of from the CEO perspective, right? Why you want
Yes.
to learn a cloud? All right.
Like
I'll,
So we want to upgrade our technology for that.
right, right. So I can simply say that there is a money.
Yes.
Frankly speaking, there is no other reason to learn a cloud because there is a money. If you can see the old statistics, this is old statistics when I have created a presentation long back 2 years when I started teaching. So that time I have collected some few information, but this information is still valid. Although data is old, but information is still valid. What it says that in India, uh, it's a 2.4 billion dollar projected in 2019, which is supposed to be get increased 24% from 2018. That is a report in Economic Times. Right. Another report on a global Gartner. Gartner is one of our institute who provide comparison analytical and analytical reports uh, to various industries. Right. If you are aware about Gartner, just keep it in mind in a Gartner. Gartner, if you are going for the sales, if you are going for as a pre-architect. So Gartner will be play a key role to convince your client. If you show some report from the Gartner, client will automatically accept that report. All right. So coming back to our point, Gartner says that in globally, 145 billion dollar business it was in 2017, which are get increased 175 billion dollar uh, in 2018, and which is further got increased or projected to be increased to 6 in 2019. and it's keep going, keep growing. And in this pandemic situation of 2019, believe me, guys, lot of company have moved from on-premises to cloud, or any new company who's setting, or any company who's setting up new environment, they are not ordering a hardware, they are just going to cloud, right? There was there was a projection by 2020, it will be 60% will be workload will be moved on a cloud, and I believe that in pandemic situation is more than that. All new workloads, all on already on a cloud, right? So companies are moving towards cloud. So companies are moving a cloud. So there is a niche requirement of cloud administrator, cloud engineer, cloud architect, right? There is a requirement gap is there. So this is a simple funda of supply and demand. There is a less people available who is on the cloud nowadays. If people start learning a cloud, just like you guys are learning, so there is a still gap to fulfill the requirement of current company. So if you guys are aware, recently from last before this hiring freeze time, the January and December is a hiring freeze time. Before that, people are willing to pay 200 times, 100 times to any employee who are good with the right skills. Azure cloud, or any cloud, and the DevOps and the architectural skills. So company are willing to pay 100% hike. The example is myself. I was working with L&D, then I got 100% hike, guys. Believe me, I'm not telling you a lie. I'm got 100% hike, and I got one of a company. I cannot disclose the name, right? So that company gave me 100% hike. So this is not only my case. This is around me. There's a lot of people who got approximately 80 to 100% hike. The reason to learn the cloud is money, right? There's a business and there is a money. And we are not focusing on any technology which is not going to provide me, although this is so good. I can simply say that I can simply that open source is one of our good technologies. Lot of things you can lot of things you can do that on open source, but still there is no money on open source. So people companies don't go on open source. People go on the companies goes on also, but that's not such a trend. Right. Then what is the cloud, guys? What do you think? Couple of answer already got it, but what do you think? What is a cloud? Question to you guys.
It's a physical server which is located somewhere else and can be accessed via an internet.
Perfect. That is a data center,
Yes.
right? Before coming to cloud, data center is also providing same solution. There's a physical server. Let's say that NetMagic, CFI, or Reliance data centers. They are out. People are outsourced their data center to NetMagic data center or Control S. There's a lot of companies who are renting out their place to have a data center, right? Or they are also providing data centers, servers also. So what is cloud? What's the difference between data center and cloud? Is it the same? So why so bubble?
Platform where the data can be stored and accessed via the internet.
Okay, that same can do you can do with a data center. You can have a public IP, you can access from anywhere.
Cloud is basically a technology which provide different kinds of services.
Okay, all right. That's a valid answer. You can consider that. This is one of answer. You can simply say that, but not a complete answer. All right. So the thing is that the definition of a cloud will be get changed on perspective to perspective, right? If you are academician, like a teacher or principal, your online classes is a cloud. All the classes are happening on a cloud. That is online classes is considered as a cloud. Or might be your father, your mother. They used to book a ticket and they stand on a ticket counter, railway ticket counter for a long time and book the ticket. Nowadays, you just go on website called IRCTC and book the ticket over there, right? So ticket booking is become a cloud. Or might be if you are in people service, like you are applying, if someone is applying for new electric meter, right? So that electric meter, what you have to use to do, you have to collect your all papers and make a in a file and give it to lower officers or a clerk. Then clerk will verify the papers. Then he will send pass on to junior engineer. Then engineer will pass out to surveyor. Surveyor will pass out to senior executive. When they all are getting approved, then you get a your meter. Nowadays, you just upload all the document on internet, and they just verified over the internet, right? So it's a consumer become on a cloud, right? So the cloud definition become cloud definition get changed perspective to perspective, but there is one definition is provided by NIST, National Institute of Standard Technology, which is accepted by a lot of most almost all industries. What they say is that cloud computing is a module for enabling universal, convenient, on-demand network access to shared pool configurable computing resources, just like a networking, server, storage, applications, and the services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management efforts or without interacting service provider. Right? So a couple of things. This is the entire definition provided by NIST. So if someone's asked you definition, you can simply give this definitions. This is a definition. All right. In this definition, there is a few lines which I want to highlight. One is that enable universal, on-demand network access, shared pool, right? Rapidly provision and release with this is one of important point with minimal management efforts or without an interacting service provider. So those are the called essentials character. This has been defined from the definition itself. Those are called five essentials characters. Anyone who claims that I'm a cloud provider, they have to meet these essentials characters. Let's say that someone have started a company and say that we are a cloud-based company. All right, you are the cloud-based company. Do you meet these five essentials characters? If you meet, then you are a cloud provider. Otherwise, you're just a data center, right? So that what are those? On-demand network access, broad network, on-demand network, sorry, on-demand, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, or measured service, right? Uh, any questions, guys? I think no. All right. So guys, so this is a five essentials characters. If someone says that I'm a cloud provider and fulfill this five essentials character, they can call themselves as a cloud provider. And once they fulfill this five essentials character, there is a three ways they can serve you cloud, which is infrastructure service, platform as a service, and software as a service, right? And three ways you can deploy. One is a private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. Any questions so far here? Or we'll see a couple of slides, then we can take a question. All right. This is a self-explanatory, doesn't require any definition explanation, on-demand self-service. So which means that you will get a subscription. On a subscription, your billing will happen. You will have a some portal. You can deploy your resources. Once your work done, you can delete your resources. You are not going to interact with service provider, whether it is Azure, AWS, or Google, right? That hey Google, I wanted to have this much core of virtual machine. Can I deploy? And he got approved. Then you can deploy. This is not happening here. It is just a portal there. You just go with your subscription and deploy your resources, and billing will happen on your subscription. Broad network access, you can access from anywhere, any location across the globe. You can use any devices, whether it is laptop, tablet, or workstation system servers, Linux, Windows, Macintosh, doesn't matter, right? So it's a broad network access. This is not dependent on any connectivity. This is one essentials character. You can simply say that resource pooling. So you are not only one tenant over there. What exactly means that, let's say example, you are hosting e-commerce website on Azure Data Center, right? There will be eBay who is also hosting their website on of Azure, and Flipkart also hosting their website on Azure. So both are the e-commerce websites, each other competitor, but still using a same tenant, same service, right? Another example that Netflix, all the data are hosted on AWS cloud, right? And also Amazon Prime, which is also hosted on AWS cloud. So you are not only one tenant. This model is called a multi-tenant model. There is a plenty of resources available, plenty of data centers has been deployed by cloud provider. You compile, you extract the resources which is your required and deploy your environment, right? How this works, that's what we're going to learn in entire course. How as an individual itself, right? Although it's a Netflix, although it's a Amazon Prime, but both are never get interacted each other. They are having individual identities. They are not going to conflict with each other. There will be compliance policy always follow, right? So those things we're going to learn in this entire series. So one thing you have to remember, cloud service is multi-tenant modules. Cloud service is multi-tenant. It's not only single tenant. There's a multiple people out there. Yep, this is one of essentials character. I can simply, again, another essential character. You can simply say that. I'll just give you a quick example. Let's say that you want to host a website which is on two core CPU, and that can handle approximately 1000 hits per second. You can simply say that 1000 hits per second. It can handle this server, and that runs on two core, and everything is working very smooth. One day, sales teams comes and says that, hey guys, we have new trending idea, which is in right now in the market trending. The idea is trending in the market. If we implement this idea, we our hit will be get increased from 1000 to 1 lakh per second. Can we implement this idea on our website? If you are in traditional data center, you will upfront says that, hey, no, we cannot implement because we have a server which is a two core, which doesn't which will not able to handle the 1 lakh hits per second. Our server will get crash. So sales team said, get the server. Like getting servers is not such an easy job. We require to float a bit in the market. Auction, we have to do auction. Then after doing the auction, we have to select the vendors. After selecting a vendor, vendor will deliver the hardware. Then hardware engineer will come and deploy the hardware, right? And then operating system engineer will install operating system. Then your application engineer will come and install the application, right? Then you do the penetration testing, you do the application testing, then finally you are ready with your, let's say that 16 core server. That will take approximately 3 months to 6 months, right? So we cannot immediately implement this idea. Whereas being in cloud, you can simply change the core size within a 5 minutes. Same server, same application, everything's running same. You just change the core from 2 core to 16, right? That will take hardly 5 minutes. I know that VMware technology also can do this one, but there is a capacity planning also we need to do, right? If each and every application will ask for the 16 core, you don't have a capacity plan. Again, you have to go for this purchase cycle, right? And let's assume that after trending idea over, the trend is over, your hits come back to normal, which is 1000 hits per second. You don't require 16 core for that. Your resource is underutilized if you are having this resource. So 2 core is sufficient to handle, right? So in traditional data center, we are generally wasting our resource. We cannot run anything on production until unless there is a requirement under production, right? But whereas in the cloud, you can simply switch to your 2 core within 5 minutes. Hardly 5 minutes will take, right? And let's say that this 16 core you use for 1 week. So you pay for 1 week only. Rest of the time you're going to pay for 2 core. That's the beauty of being in a cloud. Rapidly can increase your size, release the course resources, right? It is rapid elasticity. Another fifth essential character is measured
So,
service.
sorry to interrupt. So there will be
Yes,
a downtime of 5 minutes
yes,
if we are increasing that.
yes. There will be downtime of 5 minutes,
Okay.
but we can overcome this downtime also. There is another way. There is a way we're going to learn that there is a vertical scaling, another is horizontal scaling. So vertical
Okay.
scaling always have a downtime, and a horizontal scaling will be allowed to do your work without downtime.
Okay.
All right. So we'll see that on also that when we come to the topic called virtual machine scale set. All right. Measured service, each and everything will be get measured. Whether you use storage, whether you use a processing power, bandwidth, each and everything will be measured. What we used to have in earlier days, when you are renting out your data center, you have a blanket cost. You quote your requirement to your vendor, data center vendor, and he will bill you on a blanket charges, right? Okay, you are saying that you require 100 cores overall. So 100 cores will be cost you 10 lakhs rupees per month. And this is a blanket charges so always there. Even if you exceed that one, you will get pay more because there's a cap. You if you don't exceed, there is no deduction, right? So in where is in a data center where is in a cloud services you pay what you consume. So let's say that you are planned for having 100 cores but you hardly use 50 cores, so you pay for the 50 cores only. That's a beauty of being a cloud. Everything is measured. What you consume you pay for it, right? Coming back to five essentials characters, any questions on these five essentials characters, guys? No question? Perfect. All right, how we can deploy cloud or how we can serve the cloud? How we get so we understand that if anyone's qualified this five essentials character, they can call themselves as a cloud provider. Sorry, guys. All right. So how you get served? So let me ask you a question. What are the things required to host a website? Let's assume you want to host a website, e-commerce website. You want to host an e-commerce website, right? Like Amazon or Flipkart, right? And you want to host in your office itself. What are the things you required from the scratch? What are the things you required?
Server we need,
Server you required, okay.
and storage,
Storage. Anyone else want to try? What else you required?
Operating system,
Operating system. Perfect.
okay.
Web, web server.
Application or web server.
Application, web server, right?
The domain name we need to host the
Domain name, right. A lot of things you have mentioned. Let me go from the scratch. First thing you required is space, physical space. First thing is required to host a website in your office, in your in your office data center. You require physical space where you want to keep your server. And if you know that space in the metro cities is most expensive rather than the server. Then you require power supply. A power supply which should be a redundant power supply. If your production website, that should be redundant power supply. Might be you required a generator, might be you required three different vendors for the power supply, Reliance or might be Tata Power or MSCB. State board power supply, multiple power supply you require if you are hosting for a production. You required cooling system, you required a switches, you required a LAN, you required firewall, you required storage, you required a server, you required hypervisor technology. Hypervisor is VMware or Hyper-V, right? And its license, it's a patching, it's a maintenance, everything on the hypervisor side. You required operating system, you required to patch operating system, you required to you have to maintain the security operating system, you have to maintain the 24 by 7 of your operating system licenses. On the top of that, you required some application like might be IS Apache, which is going to host your uh, website, any supporting application like Tomcat, JBoss, WebLogic, right? You required a database, you required IP address, whether it's public IP, private IP, you required FTP to upload your data, you required DNS or domain name, you can simply say that a hosting name, you required internet connectivity. Lot of things you have to require to host a single website, right? If you think from the scratch. Let's consider those items Let's consider those items in a mind, right? All the items and understand the cloud services, right? First thing is that if you're hosting on premises, who manage all the stuff? You manage. Whether it's networking, storage, right? Cable, crimping the cable, or creating a SAN storage, interconnecting that, right? Server virtualization, everything who you have to manage. If you think for the going for cloud service, the first service is infrastructure service. Name itself says that infrastructure, so all the infrastructure related stuff, which is a networking, storage, server, virtualization, will be managed by a vendor. Vendor could be AWS, vendor could be Google, vendor could be Azure, right? So vendor will take care of your networking. How much bandwidth you require, you have to just demand the bandwidth. They will take care of it. Vendor will take care of storage, whether you require GB, whether you require PB, petabytes, doesn't matter. Vendor will arrange for you. Vendor will take care of your server, whether you require 2-core server, whether you require 128 core server or number of servers, doesn't matter. Vendor will arrange you. Vendor will take care of virtualization. What you will get a virtual machine on the top of that. You have to manage your virtual machine. You have to purchase your license, right? You have to do patching of your virtual machine. You have to take care of uptime of your virtual machine, including operating system, application, and its runtime, right? And on a top of that, sorry, on a top of that, there your data will be there, which is the e-commerce website, and application will be e-commerce, right? A use case will be e-commerce. You have to maintain your all the stuff. That is called infrastructure as a service. Partially till the hardware item managed by the vendor. On top of that, you will get virtual machine that managed by you. This is called infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Another is that since we want to host an e-commerce website, right? Where cloud provider says that, hey, why you want to host a virtual machine? Why you want to take care of runtime? Why you want to do the patching security? Give it to me. What is your purpose? So you can simply say that I want to host a website. All right, I can provide you solution. So they provide complete platform. Platform is called website hosting, right? Platform is called website hosting. The complete website hosting platform is ready. It's up and running. It's 24 by 7. It will be get run by the vendor, right? It's a vendor responsibility, whether it's AWS, Google, or GCP, it doesn't matter. Patching security will be managed by vendor. What you need to do, you have to just focus on your e-commerce website data, right? Building a website and its application where you want to publish it or what kind of audience you want to target it. You just upload your data and start utilizing that platform as a service. That is called PaaS service. Any questions? Comparison between IaaS and PaaS? Any questions, guys? No? Are you there, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. And there's another service. Last service is called software as a service. Since you want to host, you want to publish. Let's say that you are Tata Motors, right? And you want to sell your spare part. So simply, Amazon will approach you and say that, hey, Tata Motors, why do you want to sell your own on your own website? Nobody comes on your own website. Publish all your spare parts on my website. That is Amazon.com or Flipkart.com, right? So they are providing complete software, e-commerce software to host your products, right? You just need to send your catalog. So that everything is managed by the vendor is called software as a service. You don't need to maintain anything. You just need to send your catalogs. Since you are not IT based company, you know why you want to build your applications. Make sense, guys? Software as a service, platform as a service, and
Yes.
infrastructure as a service,
Okay.
right? Quick
Understand.
ex- quick
Yes.
example, pizza, right? Uh, uh, I know you haven't got a breakfast itself, so I'm talking about pizza. All right. So let's say that you want to bake a pizza or you want to eat a pizza and you want to bake at home. So what are things you required? You required a cheese, topping, dough, right? Fire, oven, everything you required from the scratch, right? That is you are build
Yes.
if you're cooking a pizza at home. Let's say that you go to DMart or Walmart or any supermarket and you bring half ready cooked pizza, which is a frozen pizza, and put in your fire or put in your oven. And within a fair 10 to 15 minutes, your pizza will be ready. So you are not managing you are doing partially stuff, right? And but you have to use your fire, you have to use your oven, you have to use your electricity. And after eating a pizza, you have to clean your dining plates, right? You have to wash your plates. After eating a pizza, you have to clean your dining table, right?
Yes.
You have to bring your soda.
Yes.
So that is example of software infrastructure service. Partially work is already done, partially work you have to do it. Let's say that even you wanted to have a pizza, but you don't want to use your own electricity, you will call Zomato, Swiggy, or delivery service, right? They will deliver hot burning pizza at your doorsteps within a 30 minutes, right? And then you are having your pizza on your dining table, you are having your soda, right? After having a pizza, you have to wash your plates, you have to clean your table. So everything was ready. You just have to use your platform. You have to just use your partial service so you can eat that, utilize that pizza. The software service is that you go to Pizza Hut, Domino's Pizza, any pizza outlet. You e-
11 day, Alex.
yeah, you eat your pizza, right? Eat your pizza after eating.
You can.
Wait,
Oh, yes. You are the owner, activity owner. I shared that list, so what are I configured to you and
okay, I mute. All right, I understand, guys. This is morning time. Office might be started. All right. So what I'm saying that the pizza you go on pizza outlet like Pizza Hut or any pizza outlet and you start eating your pizza and you pay for it. You don't clean the table. You don't clean the plates. You just pay for it and come out. That's a good example of pizza as a service. Quickly covering those things: data centers, network file security, storage, all will come in the infrastructure service. Right. If you have a further blanket operating system, managing tools, development tools, that is called a platform as a service in the technical terms. Software as a service, everything will be ready. Application use case will be ready, like just like O65, Gmail, calendar services, or right now which we are using this Microsoft Teams communication channel. This is a quick example of software as a service. Any questions so far, guys, in this comparison? In this, sorry, in this all different services. A small comparison. This is important, guys. When you go for the interview will ask you that what's the difference between IaaS, PaaS, and software as a service. You have to define this as a definition. And if they ask you what is the comparison between, or what are the different comparison between those different services, you can simply say that software as a service, you are the model is everything is ready. You use as a per subscription base, so you don't need to build anything. You might be go for three. Where is my cursor? Yeah, here. You can go for the monthly basis, you can go for the yearly basis. Regardless of number of user, you just buy the subscription and start utilizing. Example, O65 or Gmail service, paid service, Gmail paid service, right? Where you can simply where you can simply use email account based on number of users, whether you want 1 TB storage, whether you want 50 GB storage, it's up to you. Platform as a service will increase your productivity. You don't need to maintain your infrastructure part, but still you need to deploy your resource, IT resource, which is a PaaS resource, and you have to configure it, right? It is easy to manage, less effort is required. You can focus on your actual data, website building. And infrastructure as a service is completely give a flexibility. If you have legacy applications which cannot be go on platform as a service or software as a service, which you have deployed earlier or you have purchased earlier, you have some compliance issue, so you can go for the infrastructure as a service. Right. How you can deploy the cloud? There's a three ways to deploy cloud. Public cloud, which means that the cloud will be hosted on some remote location owned by the vendor, hosting by the vendor, right? The software is owned by vendor. You just connect it over the secure internet connection and network connection and access your data center on your data, right? That is called public cloud. We are going to learn about public cloud, whether it's AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. So we are going to use a public cloud. Another is a private cloud. Let's say assume that Reliance has already purchased a huge hardware. They, if they go on public cloud, they are wasting their hardware, right? So what Reliance says that, hey, I already have purchased new hardware, which is a huge ample of size, right? So I want to utilize it. I want to go use your cloud service. I like your single point interaction. If you require virtual machine, database, backup, everything will be done by the single vendor. I like this idea, right? But I cannot go on your data, or I cannot go on your data center. Might be compliance issue. I cannot take my data over there, or might be I already have purchased new hardware. So that scenario, there's a case called private cloud. So cloud provider will come and deploy their software, which is a cloud software on your hardware. That is called a private cloud. In Azure, we call it Azure Stack. Azure Stack is the solution which is a private cloud. There is no difference between the software, only deployment and limitation will be there. Not everything will be available on private cloud immediately. They will get released first and public cloud, later they will release on the private cloud. And the hybrid cloud is a combination of these two clouds, right? Public and private. So let's say that you have a compliance issue, you cannot take your user data or banking data or transaction data on public cloud, so you can keep it on your private cloud. And some websites or front facing customer facing website you will going to host on a public cloud. The combination of these two is called a hybrid cloud. So which allow you to fulfill your compliance and also allowed you to save money. So in the public cloud, you don't have capex. Capex is called capital expenditures. You don't have any capital expenditure. You're not buying any hardware, right? You have complete agility. Right now, you are using AWS. Now you feel that okay, Microsoft is giving me a much cheaper offer. So you can jump from AWS to Google or Azure, you have a complete agility. Or might be you're using IaaS applications, you can go for the PaaS. It's a purely consumption-based module. What you consume, you pay for it, right? In a private cloud, you have a control and security. In a hybrid cloud, it will provide you flexibility, partially on public cloud, partially on private cloud. It will help you to fulfill your compliances. Any question, guys, so far here? Any questions, guys? Are you with
So
me?
in case of private cloud, are those company who is providing this cloud services?
Uh-huh.
So they are going to install some hardware on premises.
So they have a requirement of hardware, right? They have a specific requirement. Let's say that Oracle Stack or OpenStack or might be Azure Stack. All three are the private example of private cloud, and they have a different hardware requirement. HP also provide a HP also provide a private cloud service, and they enforce to use HP hardware, right? IBM also provide a private cloud service. They enforce to use a private hardware. They are IBM hardware. So they have a hardware requirement which we have to fulfill, if or which we have to meet that criteria. If we meet the criteria, we can connect to private cloud team and they will deploy private cloud on our infrastructure, on our data center. Hope the answer is clear, right?
Yes.
All right. So public cloud, the competitor are the AWS, Azure, IBM Software, Rocketspace, GCP, Oracle, Salesforce, Allianz, Entity Oracle. Those are providing a public cloud. Those are the cloud provider. Some are the public cloud provider, some are the private cloud provider. Sorry. We so what is in general advantage of being in a cloud rather than going to data center? So you will have high availability. Apart from the softwares and applications, you will have high availability. You have complete scalability, you have elasticity, you have agility, you have a fault tolerance, disaster recovery, global reach, right? This is one of a good example of global reach. Let's say assume that you are India-based company. You are founded in India, but your customer is in US, right? If you host your data in India data center and people are getting served from the US area, right? So there will be definitely latency while getting your application. And we know that in this fast moving world, if you are looking some mobile, right? And if Amazon.com is giving you delay on each every click 30 seconds or 40 minutes you have to for 40 seconds you have to wait, you definitely switch to Flipkart.com. Says that hey, Amazon is today slow, so let me go and search on Flipkart.com. Let me purchase from the Flipkart.com. Right? So people will switch from your application if you provide a latency. Right? So global reach, which means that by being an Indian company, you can deploy your all data in US data center or UK data center, anywhere across the globe, right? Whereas if you go for the traditional way, you have to tie up with someone third party in US, right? Or you have to purchase or rent it out the land, then build a data center over there. Lot of complication, lot of rules and regulation you have to follow. But being a cloud, it's become pretty easy. You can deploy your virtual machine or physical machine or resources across globe, right?
I am Naveen Pavan Archesman. You also did.
All right. All right, those are sales speech. I'll just skip that. All right. Being a cloud, what should be a role? If you look for the cloud administrator, what should be a role? So what role? It, there's one way that you look for the technical stuff. Another is the role stuff. What could be a job you're going to do? As a role, you will going to understand the storage. You will going to span a storage, networking, compute, cloud compute, and you require to deep understanding of entire IT cycle. Earlier, we have different hardware engineer, operating system engineer, application engineer, we have storage engineer, we have network engineer, we have a backup engineer. Now all the roles will be get replaced by cloud administrator. All you have to do, or you have to do all the works. Sorry, guys. Right? So you are replacing so many roles in traditional IT. So you will get more roles here, more responsibility. So that's why you're getting paid more, right? You're replacing more people, so you are getting paid more. You have to interact with the vendors. You have to interact with the Microsoft or cloud provider for any issues. You have to give recommendation to your vendor, your client that, hey, this size is not good. This size should you go for it, right? You have to give it a recommendation. You have to use uh, PowerShell or command line if you are uh, you want to be more proficient or you want to be more professional, so you have to use your PowerShell and command line to deploy the stuff, right? And you have to keep eye on everything from virtualization, cloud infrastructure, storage, and networking, everything. That could be a role. All right, question, why Azure? Why do you want to learn Azure? What do you think, guys? Why you only want to learn Azure? There is a lot of products in the market. AWS is there, Google is there. Why you are decided to learn on Azure?
Azure is the Microsoft product, and with nowadays Azure is growing very fast compared to other cloud services, and it is cheaper than other cloud services also. So that is the reason we want to learn Azure.
All right, perfect, perfect. Right. Again, what I say that there's a money factor. All right. So what survey says that Microsoft will be take over AWS by 2022, right? Since AWS have started very long back, I think a decade back before Azure, Microsoft Azure. So they have a good hold in the market, right? But since Microsoft is a pure code-based company, their bread and butter is on writing on code. They built a operating system, they have built a Exchange server, they have built database, they have built a lot of application. Even which is we are doing the presentation, that is a PowerPoint, is also built by the Microsoft, right? So Microsoft is pure code-based company. Their bread and butter is IT. Whereas AWS or Amazon is an e-commerce website, they have just 2 decades back, 1 decade or 2 decade back, they have entered into IT field. So definitely Microsoft have good resource, good employee, and they have a past experience. And secondly, Microsoft have a good tie-up with various organizations. Whether you use AWS or Azure, you still using Microsoft product as a server, or still using Microsoft as a desktop, still using Microsoft as a email service or SQL service, right? So you are every company in the world, almost all company are in the world are tie up with the Microsoft. Some somewhere for the virtual machine, somewhere for the physical machine, somewhere for the server side, somewhere for the desktop side, right? So Microsoft have good reach. Secondly, Microsoft is since in the long decade in the industry, so they have good tie-up with the various governments. Not only Indian government, there's a various government they have a good tie-up. So you might be aware that Microsoft won the Pentagon project, which is a huge project. All right. So the thing is that Microsoft is going very fast. They are good with on a PaaS and IaaS infrastructure and SaaS solution provider. So a small comparison, I'll not go in detail. This is a Microsoft Gartner's report. Again, Gartner, if you guys know, you have to understand that Gartner. What is a Gartner? This is a Gartner's Magic Quadrant, right? Gartner's Magic Quadrant. If you can see that Leaders Quadrant, Microsoft have listed a lot of products. Let's say that IaaS, disaster as a service, CRM, right? Or might be public storage, might be hosting a Salesforce, web conferencing, Microsoft Teams right now, which we are connected, right? So many application is in leaders quadrant, right? Whereas if you compare with other cloud provider, although the hold on a market of AWS is higher than Microsoft still, but if you list product wise, Microsoft is in leaders quadrant on various products, right? This is a Microsoft in the leaders quadrant and AWS is still high. That's a report on 2019. If you can see that recent report I have seen, I have to add it here. It's neck to neck right now. It's neck to neck. It's the current state. And believe me, in this year, 2022 or might be next year, Microsoft will be surpassed at AWS. All right, what is Azure? Simply, I can say that my Azure is Microsoft Azure Cloud is computing service provided by Microsoft, right, for testing, deploying, and managing your application services through the Microsoft Managed Data Center. That is a definition of Azure. What are the services available on Azure? You can see that in terms of a compute, in terms of compute, you can see that virtual machine skill set, cloud services, batch account, remote app, which is virtual desktop, right? Azure Fabric, container services. In the PaaS service or hosting website and mobile data, you can have web app, a mobile app, app logic, API management, or API, Azure API notification hub, Azure function, right? So plenty of service will be available if you so there is a lot of things to learn on Azure, but we're going to focus on AZ104, right? So guys, let's take a 5 minutes break, then we'll come back, right? I know that you haven't got your coffee and tea, so you can grab a tea and coffee, and we will back in 5 minutes. Just hold on, guys, don't leave right now. 5 minute break will be fine for you, or you want to have a 10 minutes break? What do you think, guys? Are you there,
Five
guys?
minutes will be okay.
5 minutes will be okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes will be fine.
All right, perfect. So let's meet in 5 minutes. All right, guys. Hope everyone is back. Okay. Yeah. I'll consider who all are back. So let's continue. So far, we have seen in general of a cloud, right? In general. Now we are going to see core component, core architectural component of a cloud, or specifically to Azure. Now we are not going to talk about in general on cloud side. We are going to talk about Azure itself. First architectural component is geography. So Azure have divide himself in multiple geography. They have categorized in five regions, right? Five geographical areas. One is America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. Africa. So it depends on their nature of business, right? So we if you can see that this is Asia Pacific and Middle East are same continent, but still we have a two different geography because nature of Asia Pacific doing the business and the nature of doing Middle East is totally different, right? So here we are setting a sheikh, so we can charge him more. They don't bother if they get a service. Here in India, we wanted to save the lot of pennies, right? We want to save a lot of pennies. In Europe, they wanted to have a proper process. In America, they wanted to have new deployments. They are fast in technology. They wanted to have a as soon as possible deployment, right? And Africa is emerging countries, right? You can simply say that. So based on the country or locations, right? Based on the location, regional location, they have divided their geography into five categories, right? Each geography will have at least two and more regions. What is a region? We'll see that later on, right? Or in upcoming slide, there's a region. We'll see that. And e- each region will have a data specific redundancy, and they have a close proximity deployments based on the nature of the region, geography. Sorry, you can simply say geography. They have deployed their business strategy. It's more on business strategy, right? So we have seen that each geography will have at least two and more regions. What is region, right? Region is nothing but a data center. Believe me, whatever you call it, but the region is a data center which is located on a specific city or specific location is called a region. So in India, we have a three regions: Central India, South India, and West India. Right? India is not a one region. In India, we have a three regions. Again, I'm repeating my word. Central India, South India, and West India. Central India is nearby Pune, West India is nearby Mumbai, and South India is nearby Chennai. Right? So those are the region, and I think soon Microsoft will start a North region, North India, which is in Delhi. Right? So those are the location where you can find out your data center, where you can deploy the resources. Each region you can deploy individual resources, right? Any questions on the region? Region is important, guys. If you haven't understand, let me know. Any questions on the region?
Yeah, no issue.
No question.
No.
Perfect. Perfect. I generally get the question that whether this region will have a single data center or multiple data center will be there. This is generally I got a question. So let me put this question here itself. What do you think, guys? Will it be a single data center, a single building of data center, or it will be a multiple location in the region? What do you think?
There should be multiple, I feel.
Maybe multiple locations, I guess.
Okay, okay. So if you say that a region is just defining a location, right? So West India, whether it's single data center or multiple data center, doesn't matter. It's a
And
Yeah, it's a defining a data centers where you can deploy the resources. It could be possible it's a single big data center, or it could be possible it's a cluster of data center and acting together as a one region, right? So if you have a three different locations, right? Let me go to that one. I'll just come back to this slide. Yes, this one. If you have a one region, right? This is a one big region, right? And having three different multiple location within a same region, that is called zones. That is called zones. So let's assume that if you guys are aware of a Mumbai, so New Mumbai, New Mumbai will be one zone, Powai or Borivali will be another zone, right? Or Nariman Point will be a third zone. I just giving example. It's not exactly same, but I just giving example, right? Within a same city, within a same location, you will have multiple data centers separated approximately 80 to 30 kilometers from each other. That is called zones. We'll come back to this in details, right? Right. So region is that where you can deploy your resources. That is simply a data center. There is a pair region. Pair region is for the disaster recovery in case some region goes down. So you should have another region available so you can simply continue your business. BCDR, right? Business continuous disaster recovery. So Central India will is a pair with the South India. So they have a strong bandwidth connectivity up between the Central India and South India. And if any PaaS services, any PaaS services or SaaS services of Microsoft Azure will goes down in Central India, it will automatically will be available in South India. Or it goes down in South India, it will be automatically available in Central India, right? That is called a pair region. Only PaaS and SaaS services. For the IaaS services, we have to make it enable the DR service. We'll see that also, BCDR topic. Right. There's a three type of special regions. Azure government. Azure government, you cannot deploy any resources in the Azure government until unless you are working on some government project. Let's assume that you are working for the signaling, right? Traffic signals. That traffic signal you want to maintain on the cloud, you want to do analytical data on the cloud. So that time you will, since it's a public property or it's related to government projects or military projects, right? So for those scenarios, you will have a Azure government data center. In US, we have a North America, right? And there is a special region called China VNet, China ViaNet, right? Since you guys know that China have a different policies than other worlds, right? They wanted to control all the data, so they want to see all what are you are storing. So that's why Azure China is a different specific special region. Same way with the Germany. Germany is partially available, partially is blocked, right? Germany want to hold their data, so that's what same with the Germany, right? So why I'm mentioning these three special regions? If you have a subscription, if you have Azure subscription, you can deploy across globe any region, whether Central India, South India, North, East, or West US, any region you can deploy your virtual machine or resources. But you cannot deploy in these three regions. If you want to deploy, you have to fulfill special compliance and legal requirement. Then only this region will be get available for you. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
All right. I know that we are just going for theory part, so but still, just bear with me. We'll have a practical from tomorrow itself. But this is this is important to understand. This is the terminology which we're going to use in day to day with when learning the Azure. All right. Pair region, we have saw that what is a pair region. In case Central India goes down, so we should have some other region that will be have special pairing region. So my business should be get continue. So there is a list of the pairing regions will be available. Let me see that I can show you. come on. All right, let it be. I'll just search on the Google. So those are the pair region. There's a geography we generally talk about. We already talk about Asia Pacific, Australia. So those are the country-wise geographies, right? If you go for the Asia Pacific, which is East Asia is paired with Southeast Asia, Singapore with paired with the Hong Kong. If you just see that Central France is paired with the South France, if you can see that India, where is India? India. Yeah, here is India. Central India is paired with South India, and West India also paired with the South India, and South India is paired with Central India, right? So those are the tables you have to refer when you are deploying your resources. What is a pair region for any PaaS services or SaaS services? So those are the regions across the globe. There is a 60 plus regions available by the Microsoft where we can deploy the resources. You can deploy in India region, you can deploy US region, anywhere you can deploy your resources across the globe. All right, there is a high availability services. If you want to achieve, I'll just skip this topic for today. When we are doing the compute topic, I'll going to discuss in detail. So high availability, if you want to deploy any virtual machine, you want to overcome with the downtime from the Microsoft itself. Microsoft will provide you two types of high availability. Availability set. Availability set is like within the same data center. Within a same data center, they have divided their servers in three different categories, and each different category will be having a different power supply. So in case any power supply goes down, so you will have other two power supply will be available. So if you have wanted to have high availability applications, so you will be deploying one virtual machine here, one virtual machine here, one virtual machine here, right? And all three will be behind your load balancer. We'll see in details, right, guys? Just hold on that for today. So in case anything goes down here, that other two will be available. And same ways with the Microsoft patching. When Microsoft do the patching and maintenance, Microsoft will make sure that your all virtual machines should not goes down at a time. So they will make sure that your machine will be available. Another way for having the high availability, one is the availability set, which is in within the same data center. Another way for high availability is a availability zone, which we already talked about. Let's say that one region will have a three different data centers, which is approximately 30 to 40 kilometers far from each other, right? 30 to 40 kilometer far from each other. So in case any earthquake, power supply, any power, anything, a disaster happen, the one zone will be down at a time, other zone will be available. Same way for the patching, Microsoft wants to do the maintenance and patching. They will take one zone at a time down, other two zones will be available, right? So this is a quick view. If you are running a single virtual machine, that will going to provide you 99.9 SLA. Guys, you know that how to calculate SLA? Are you there?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, I'll just show you that. 99.9 SLA, what exactly it's mean? So there is a website called uptime.is. Uptime.is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this one. If you put 99.9 SLA and just enter it, it will calculate your downtime. So, which means that Microsoft is going to provide 99.9 SLA, which means that they can take daily 1 minute 26 seconds down your virtual machine. All right, or there will be no penalty on them. You cannot shout, you cannot complain on that part. or if they have SLA monthly wise, right? So they can take your virtual machine 43 minutes per month down. You cannot put penalty, you cannot shout on that. They will say that, hey, we have 99.9 SLA. We not breach our SLA, still in the 43 minutes, right? When you say that SLA is, if you go for availability set option, which is that provide you 99.95, right? It's zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.5 itself we are adding here. If you can simply click on it and just see the difference in monthly, right? It's become 21 minutes, 43 minutes to 21 minutes because of just zero point 0.5 we have added after 99, right? So SLA time, if someone says that, hey, we have 99.95 SLA, so they cannot take downtime more than 21 minutes, 21, 40, 54 seconds. And we say that, okay, 99.9 SLA, right? This is available on availability zone. Microsoft, it's all Microsoft's different services or different high availability options. If we say that 99.9, which is a huge difference, so they can take 4 minutes downtime per month. By just removing one line, it's become 43. Adding one line, it's become 4 minutes and daily 8 seconds, right? So that is called SLA, service level agreement, right? And in agreement, they are giving a surety that we will not go more than 4 minutes if we are providing 99.99 SLA. So we're not going to more than 4 minutes downtime. The 4 minutes could be anything, accidentally open, restart, that could be possible. Make sense, guys? How to calculate? Guys, this will be important when we go for as a pre-sales or sales team, or might be if you're going for architect solution. So you have to portray what will be SLA, right? As an administrator might be not required right now, but your client might ask that, hey, what is SLA for this service which you are deploying? Then you should know that what is SLA and what how it's work. Right. So this is a single virtual machine that is provide 99.9 SLA. If you go for availability set, that's provide 99.95. And if it is availability zone, it is 99.99 SLA. And if you want to have a disaster recovery, you will have a pair region. That will be region 1 and region 2, which is approximately 100 miles or you can say the 1,000 kilometers from each other, right? That is the high availability.
Yep.
Any questions, guys, here?
Yes, I have a question in this.
Please.
If we calculate SLA, it will be purely on the downtime, or if there is any maintenance from the Azure, that will be also counted in the downtime only, or it will be different.
Both, both. There will two different categories and different rules will be there. Downtime, there's a two types of downtime. One is that we call it, what do you call it? One is called a scheduled maintenance. Another is unplanned downtime. One is a planned downtime,
Hmm.
right? Planned downtime, Microsoft will going to upfront inform you that, hey guys, I have a huge hardware issue, right? So I need to change that hardware. So there will be a planned downtime. Right, that is a planned downtime. There's another unplanned downtime, might be some service suddenly stop working, some hardware will stop working, that is unplanned downtime. And another is called a maintenance, right? Maintenance, they keep doing the patching, security, checking that all the equipment are proper or not before anything happen. So these are three different things, and SLA will be for all three are different. Right. So I believe that what you're asking that I can cover up in upcoming slide. No, not there. I'll, so tomorrow I'll be covering that point which you was talking about, which is called planned maintenance, unplanned maintenance, and schedule maintenance. Planned downtime, unplanned downtime, and schedule maintenance. Tomorrow we're going to cover when we talking about availability set and availability zone. When we're talking details, then we're going to cover that one. Right. But there will be different. All right. So this is all about Azure, guys. I'll skip this one. This is common terminology you have to understand in Azure. Resource simply means any service which you deploy in Azure is called a resource. So virtual machine will be one resource, disk will be one resource, public IP will be one resource, right? Network card will be another resource, virtual network will be another resource. Each and every service simply called in Azure is called resource, right? A resource group, we're going to see in the resource group. Resource group is nothing but a logical container, just like a cardboard box, where you put similar kind of resources, right? That is called resource group. So let me give example. You want to have all the production items in one binding. That is called production resource group. You want to have all HR groups, HRI resources, HR application should be all together. So you come to know that okay, this is all HR related. Anything is in this bracket will be called HR products. That is called a HR resource group. So we'll go into detail. So let me give example, quick example, guys. So this is a good example, right? All my classes data in this folder is related to my classes, right? So this is called a folder. And in this folder, all data will be belongs to my this
Oh,
data, right? Same way, if I go for Linux, it's related to Linux. So this is a Linux folder. So it's nothing but a this folder is nothing but a virtual container. It's don't have a physical entity. It don't have a physical property. If I create an empty folder, let's say that I create a new empty folder. If you just see the property, the size of is 0 bytes. It doesn't contains any storage. It is a empty file. Simply you can say that, right? Same way, resource group is nothing but empty service which hold your resources. That is called resource group. All right. Resource manager template. This is a JSON file, allow you to deploy the resources, right? Declarative syntax, when you're doing the deployment from the syntax, then you have to understand that what is declarative informative syntax, if you have to go for it. That is not a part of, but you have to understand this. Resource provider in Azure, everything which we have saw that compute here. Where is that? I think very high here. Everything, the compute, web app, networking, storage, everything is provided by some resource provider, and that resource provider provide a service. This is called resource provider. So let me give example. If my compute resource provider is down, so all the compute related virtual machine and everything will be down. If I say that my network resource provider is down, so which means that all network related stuff will be down, right? So Azure provide everything based on resource provider, right? There's a new service called virtual desktop. If you want to have it this virtual desktop, you have to enable your resource provider. All right, let's hold on. I'll just quickly show you that where you can find out this resource provider and what is resource group so you can get a clear picture. So I think a lot of theoretical part already done. So let's go on portal. How to access Azure? Azure will get access from the this website, portal.azure.com. This is a gateway to enter your application. Right, let me already logged in, so let me go incognito. Portal.azure.com. This is a website will allow you to get enter your subscription. So you cannot get enter without having proper credentials, right? Anyone can enter with any, if you don't have a credential system, anyone can enter with any subscription, right? So for preventing, you have to provide your credentials. So that is, I have a two subscription which is bind with my this credentials. Submit at outlook.in. Let me provide my username password, And to make it more secure, I have make it enable MFA, multi-factor authentication,
Okay.
right? So why this is not, let me go with code base. All right, and now I'm logging to my, after providing MFA, it's loading my subscription, loading my tenant. We'll see what is a tenant, but it's loading my details. Here we go. So you can see that it's a login with my ID. And if I just click service called subscription, this is a shortcut recently used, but if you want to search any services in Azure, you can simply search on the top, or this is all the services will be available. Just a minute, guys. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right. So this is let's walk through the portal first. So this is after login, logging with my credentials. We can see our details here. This is my ID. This is a sign out option, right? And this is my home button. This is home button. Whenever I click, I'll come back to my any service. If I'm inside any services, right? Let's say that I'm inside any services. I've just clicked to Azure, Microsoft Azure. I'll come back to my home page. This is my home button. Here is my menu. Menu will contain the various shortcuts, right? So this is a shortcuts which I frequently use all the options. So I have kept it a shortcut here, right? I'll just click here, find out my application. Or other way, if I want to look for the services, I can find out all the services which is provided by Azure. The word is the services provided by Azure. Why I'm using the provided by Azure? Because there's a third-party services also available on Azure portal, right? So we'll just look for the Azure services, all services. Azure have categorized in various options, like general computing, general compute, networking, storage, web. So let's say that I want to have a compute, I want to have virtual machine. I'll just click on compute. I'll just click on virtual machine. I'll be going to my compute service. Here I can deploy the new services or existing services which is running a stop. I can see that sizing, everything. We'll see later on, right? If I go back to my networking, I can see that, okay, I have multiple networks here, right? It's a basic stuff which we, all right, and this is recently which we have opened. If you can see that I have recently opened my virtual network and virtual machines, which is you can see here. If you want to see all the services one go, right, in one page, you can find out here. Right. If you are not able to recall which category you have to look for it, you can look for the all services, which is provided by Microsoft Azure. All right, this is all services provided Microsoft, and I feel that okay, I want to frequently use those items. So I can simply keep star. Just let me remove all the stars. There is no shortcuts. If you just click here, this items will become empty. I want to make it some compute which I frequently use. I just have to take a mouse over there and click on star. So now you can see that it is in a favorite. Right? Let's say that I'll go for another option called Azure function. Right? This is so. What's the use of having this? It's a pretty handy to use it, right? Another another options you can see here. Apart from all options, there is a create resource. The create resource will take you to Azure Marketplace. This is Azure Marketplace. You can find out not only Azure services, also you can find out third-party services like Ubuntu. This is a third-party operating system. Right. So let me go on, see on more on all marketplaces, what I can find out. So you can find out a lot of vendors are providing their services based on their Service, right? Red Hat is providing Red Hat, Red Hat operating system. There's a Microsoft also providing virtual network, which you already saw that. Then there is a Big Five, which is providing a WAF service. There is a Checkpoint who is providing firewalls, right? So plenty of service will be available. Approximately 10,000 plus services listed. You have to choose search for right services, right? So this is all about menu, right? If I click home, I'll come back to home. This is called a global search. People don't used to people if you become a pro, you don't go and search on the menu. You simply search, remember the service name. So I remember that virtual network gateway, right? So I'll just type virtual network gateway. So I can simply find out my services. All the services you can find out related to virtual network gateway. It will catch the words and give you the service. Same way, I can go it here, virtual network gateway, right? So this is a global service. If I have deployed virtual machine, called name is RRAAVS, I can simply search dot RRAS RRASVM. You can see that it's showing me not in the service section, it's showing me in the resource section. Those are the resources which I have already deployed, which is already available in my data center. If I click on disk, it will take me to that virtual machine disk. Make sense, guys? So this is called global search. Apart from that, here is, you already know that this is which user logged in. Here is your Microsoft quick feedback on the portal, not a Microsoft ticket. This is not a ticket option. This is a quick feedback. Hey, this is not looks good. We can put it this way. You can provide a feedback to Microsoft, right? If you want to raise a ticket with Microsoft, want to get help from Microsoft, you can simply click on question mark, right? If you want to do raise a ticket, you can simply click on help and support service. It will take you to the ticketing section, right? All requests. This is my all past requests. I think I don't have any requests as of now. So let me all history. Open, there's no open ticket, all closed. So a couple of tickets I have created and those are the closed. Must, so here you can raise a ticket for the Microsoft. Right. Apart from that, you wanted to have some documents, community help, quick starter, video services, you can find out here in the support resources. Right. This is a setting bar. So when I click here, I go to home button. There's another option. You can see that dashboard. Dashboard is nothing like your car dashboard, right, guys? So anything which you want to see, or how much what is my fuel is spending, or any error or my system, or how much speed is right now I'm driving. So that you can see on dashboard. Same way, if you want to have virtual machine, you want to see that quickly want to see that, okay, this virtual machine is a crucial machine, how much CPU utilization is happening, you can simply pin on my dashboard, right? It's a stop state. Let me pin on my dashboard. So I go here, click on dashboard. Come on. All right, it will take time to reflect here, or might be it will. Yeah, here's my dashboard. So this is my dashboard. You can see the CPU related information detail here, right? I can just simply pin the multiple CPU resources, also my resource monitoring, and I can keep watching from here, right? I don't need to go in each every services. That is a dashboard, right? So in the setting, when you click here, you goes to home. You can change that option in the setting. You can say that, okay, hey, I don't want to go for don't want to go for home. I want to go for the dashboard. When I apply it and I just click it, so it will always take me to dashboard. You can simply that it's not taking me to services, it's taking me to dashboard. Same way, a small item. I know that it's a very small item. Let me apply. So you don't want to have a high contrast theme. You want to have a black theme, so you can change your themes, right? This dock is just fly out. If you want to have a dock wise, I can just simply have shortcut here. Right? This always will be dock space, so it will eating up my space on the screen. So those things area you can play here. Right. You want to change your language and region, you can change it. You want to change your information, where you should get informed or where you should get email about your billing and resources related. So you can provide this user, possibly that this email address and this will be a different. So that scenario you can put it email address here. Right. Directory and subscription we'll see later on details. I have multiple directories. This is nothing but a Microsoft tenant. We'll see in Microsoft tenant topic, right, when we see the Microsoft tenant topic. But quickly, if you are handling multiple clients from the single ID, you can change your tenant from here. You can simply switch. Let me show you that. If I click on my subscription, I can see this to subscription in Linux on Cloud tenant, right? If I just switch to any other tenant, now I'm switching my tenant. So in the demo tenant, I have one subscription which is expired. Make sense? So this demo tenant, right now you can see that here also, demo tenant have an individual identity. There's no communication, no interaction, no relativity with my other tenant. So simply you can say that I am the company called lndinfotech.com, right? And in the lndinfotech.com, I have a multiple clients. I might be have my own Azure resource deployment. I might have my one financial institute deployment. I have one medical institute deployment. All I am managing from my LNT Samit at lndinfotech.com ID, right? I don't want to change the ID always. I don't want to log in their ID. I just wanted to have access from one place. So I can simply change my tenant and I'll be logging into their directory. We'll see in details, guys. Don't worry. Another option is the another here you can see that this is called a cloud shell, right? So if anything you want to run through the command line, you can use a cloud shell. It's a PowerShell, or you have another option called Bash shell. So in the shell, you can have a both type of shell available where you can run your commands to operate your Azure related work. Make sense, guys? Any questions so far? Are you there, guys?
Yes,
Yes, we are.
Seriously or tired? First lecture, too much information.
kind of.
I know, guys, but you will get used to it since
Tomorrow I
we,
will pass.
yeah.
Shamit,
Yes,
yeah, tomorrow just I go through it and then ask the question.
yeah. Even if you don't get it anything right now, that's absolutely fine because we are using this terminology so many times, so many where, so we are become a familiar. Don't worry if you don't get it in today itself.
Okay,
I'll be repeating this terminology: tenant, directory, help, support, resource group, resource manager, multiple times, multiple times. I'm showing you that. So you will definitely get familiar with that. Don't worry. All right. Okay. So yes, this is a quick walkthrough with the portal, right? If let's quickly deploy a virtual machine, I can simply show that how easy to deploy a virtual machine. I just click on create new. Don't worry, Azure is so simple. Since we are
yeah,
from the Microsoft background, we are using Microsoft Windows, so we are familiar with that, right? It's a too user friendly, guys. Too user friendly. I just click. You can simply, even if I don't teach you, you click on virtual machine and you can understand. Okay, hey, this is virtual machine. Okay, I can see that there's a create button, create virtual machine. All right, I can see that here is option subscriptions. I can choose any subscription. Let me deploy this subscription. Resource group, which you already talk about. Let me deploy one more resource group. Will details go in details. Giving a name, Samit Demo 1. right? Where you want to deploy. Let's say that I'll just deploy in West US. Availability options. Here is availability option. We'll see on we'll go on details everything, guys. I'm just showing you that how simply is to deploy. I'm providing user and password. This user and password is to log in my virtual machine, not to log in Azure portal. This is user virtual local user, local
Okay,
user on the virtual machine.
understood.
Right? I can choose operating system.
It's a different login.
Yeah, this is a different login. So you are the administrator, right? You have deployed virtual machine. There could be possible that you have deployed and give it to Mohsin. Mohsin want to log in. So you cannot share your ID and credentials. So that case, you will going to share this credentials. Hey Mohsin, I have created local user in account. Can you join into domain or can you use as it is? Up to you, right? I simply I skip all the options because we have to go in each and everything in details. All right, something is missing out. What is missing out? Okay, that's good. That's good. So here you can see that it's validating what I have information pass out and based on my core, what I'm using, 2 T2S, this is sizing, which we'll also going to talk in details tomorrow. That will cost me 8 rupees for 42 paisa per hour. Isn't it cheaper? Yes, it's a cheaper, but it is not exactly cheaper. We have to know that how to use it. Let me deploy the resource. So it will be a deploying virtual machine. And believe me, within a 5 minutes, my virtual machine will be ready to connect. Alright, what he have done, it have created public IP, it have created security group, it have created virtual network, it have created virtual network card, and now it's deploying virtual machine. This is called declarative deployments or incremental deployments. You can simply say that. All right. Meanwhile, it's getting deployed. Let's go to, yeah, I want to show you that resource provider where we can see the resource provider. So let it deploy. Where is my, which we are deploying right now? Yeah. Okay. This is same page. Yeah, it's ready, guys. Can see that so quick, so fast. I believe that we have sent a deployment request in 10:52, 10:53, and within the 2 minutes, the virtual machine is ready. I'll go to resource. I can see that my virtual machine is deployed. I can have a public IP. Let me take a remote desktop. So this is a public IP, and I'm putting my public IP 20.1 to 126.37.67. Click on connect. It's asking me credentials. I'll not going to provide this credential because the local ID is different, which is sysadmin and my password, right? And I'll just connect it. Within 2 minutes, this virtual machine is ready. Now I'm connecting to virtual machine, right? So fast, so efficient. You can see that. Here we go. I'm logged into my virtual machine, which is in, I believe, which region? US East 3. So what is US? West US, sorry. West US should be approximately in the California might be LA, right? So let me see that whether it's really LA or whether it's really California. So what I can do that I can simply look for Google and look for the restaurant. So which restaurant it's showing me, right? I can simply check it out. Whether it's seriously it's deploying in US or is it really deploying in India and fooling me out, right? I can check it out right now. So let me look for Google map dot google.com. Hey, why it's asking me? I have disabled this one. I have disabled this. Oh wow. Yeah, now it's disabled. Let me look for Google. Can you see that? It's showing me US map and just look for that restaurant. Right? And if you can see that this restaurant is showing me nearby, it's in all nearby restaurants, right? In my area. And if I just zoom out, it's a browser due to browser guys. This is old browser. It's not such a slow machines, or might be my internet issue. You can see that it's showing the West US side, this one. And I think it's which state? West US 3 is which state? I can see that. Oh, come on. All right, I think you got my point. It's browser is literally pathetic. I don't know why Microsoft have not integrated Edge with all their operating system. It's Arizona, Arizona and California, right? West US is in Arizona. All right. So the point is that within a 5 minutes we have deployed and we are connected to we are deployed our resources in Azure. And resource provider, if you go to your subscriptions, any subscription, and there's a resource provider. So whatever resource you want to block it for your developer or you want to use it for your infrastructure, you can enable that, register that. So let's say that if I don't register networking, I won't able to get the virtual machine deployed because there is no networking. If I don't enable the security, I won't able to access the security. So many things which is I don't require. Why should I bundle it with my subscriptions, right? To there's Azure Arc, there is Azure Active Directory, right? Microsoft Azure Active Directory. There is billings already registered. Azure Stack is not there, right? Clustering storage is not there. So those item is not registered. So which means that I cannot access those resource services. If I have to use a Power BI, I have to register for. Then I have to go for the look for Power BI option, right? This Power BI option, I have to use it, then I have to register for it. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
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 Right. One last thing, tomorrow we'll continue from here. One last thing, guys, you have to create your Azure subscription. I don't know how many of you have a credit card, right? So, what is the requirement to create new subscriptions? You require credit card, right, which is not used earlier, right? Sometimes it's worked. If you use earlier also, sometimes it's work. You required a new mobile number, which is not used earlier, right? And email address, a new email address. I can simply say that new email address, right? And a PAN card. PAN card you can put dummy card. Microsoft doesn't verify that PAN card, but they just need a PAN card details. So you can put if your PAN card end
Email
with
address or official personal mail ID we can create. No?
yes, personal email, all will be a personal. You have to look for Azure free trial account, right? And
Azure
it's
free.
yeah, Azure free trial account. Microsoft will
Okay.
give you Microsoft will give you $200. Where is my notepad? Microsoft will give you $200 as a credit. As a credit, it is not charged. It is a free credit, right? It's a free credit. But to verify your credit card, it will charge you 1 rupees. So don't worry, you will not get charged on your credit card until unless you do remove the until unless you remove your here there is called uh, there is a one blue line will come over here. If you remove that one, then only it will get charge you if you exceed to more than $200. But I'll show you that once you get it that access, then I'll show you that which you should not disturb. Right? So you will get $200 free for 30 days. 30 days. You have to spend this $200 within the 30 days. Or believe me, $200 is sufficient to learn and practice if you do if you say if you do efficiently. Like you have once your work done, you shut down the virtual machine. Once your work done, you delete your resources. After practice, you delete the resources. 200 is sufficient for you. Even if you guys having trouble, right? If you guys having trouble to get credit card or do the practice, do let me know. I'll connect you personally. I'll figure it out whether I can get those things for you or not. Right, guys? So
Okay.
it's a pretty simple. Register yourself, right? It's free, start free trial. You have to provide a credential. It's already, I have taken my credential. It will automatically sign to my account. It will take your username, password, verified, phone number, verified, provide a credit card details. It will deduct 1 rupees, right? And then it will ask you PAN card detail. Provide your actual PAN card, doesn't matter. If you want to provide a dummy PAN card, doesn't matter, right? Then create a subscription. It will take 10 to 15 minutes to load your subscription, right? After loading a subscription, you are ready to with your deployments. All right. In case, guys, if you don't sure, if you have a not confidence to create from free trial as a account from your credit card, we can do it together for tomorrow session or might be day after tomorrow, whatever, whenever you're free. All right, guys. Anything, questions, any questions, guys, or anything which you want to discuss, or might be then we'll connect tomorrow same time, 8 a.m. sharp.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could you show the public IP of the virtual machine which we have just deployed right now?
sure. This is a public IP. You can try it from your side also. You can take access, but you don't have a credentials, right? Sysadmin, you know the username, but you don't know the password. You cannot log in from your side.
Okay.
It's a universal number. So we'll see that, guys. It's not recommended to use a public IP on your production environment. So how we can make possible that we can connect through the private IPs. That's also we'll see that detail. This is a private IP you can see here. How to create a private IP range, everything we're going to learn. All right, guys. Hope you like today's sessions and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.